What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Unfiltered. We are live. Well, not really live, but it feels like I'm live. I wanted to be live. I'm not really live. However, today, I'm not by myself, but I really only have one guest in the studio today, and that is my son, Austin, over here to my right. Say hello, Austin.
What's up, everybody?
And boy, oh boy, do we have a treat for you guys today. We are going to talk about the 2024 election. I know you're probably already sick of hearing about the election, but trust me, you're going to want to hear what I have to say, and I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to tag all of your Christian friends and tag all of your Democratic friends. Tag everybody you know. I don't care where they stand politically. Tag them, share, bug them with this video, because this video is going to need to go out to everybody because I think it's really important. And so I'm going to talk about politics today.
Yes.
Oh, just get us in the
fellow
mood.
Americans.
Coming to you live at the Roots Church election desk. And trust me, we are not professionals. We are literally giving our opinions. I am going to give some facts, though, about the election, and I think that's really what I want to do today. Is I just want to show you guys a couple things. Number one, if you ever have any questions about elections or the candidates or how you should vote as a Christian, I encourage you to go to myfaithvotes.org. myfaithvotes.org. It is a great website that you can go and get all the information you want to find out what your party stands for when it comes to their platforms. And because now Super Tuesday is over and Trump slaughtered Nikki Haley, it's time to talk about what's going to go down in November, because there is going to be an election, and it's going to be Trump versus Biden Part 2.
Yep.
You ready for that, Austin?
Yeah, I guess it's
I think it's going to be fun. I think, part of this deal is we got to talk about it. It's going to happen. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, there probably won't be an election, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And I just don't believe any of that. I just think those are all fear tactics. I absolutely think we will have an election. And I'm going to tell you my predictions, and we're going to put it on recording right here today, what my predictions are going to be and how this thing's going to turn out, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I think I'm going to be right. I just got a good feeling. Here's the thing. I looked up some statistics, and the sad part, and the reason why I'm really doing this video more than anything, is because there are 25 million Christians that do not vote, according to myfaithvotes.com. 25 million Christians that do not vote. The crazy part about that is I'm going to show you a graphic right here. This is the Census Bureau released a 2020 presidential election voting report. You can see it right there at the top, and I've got it circled for you down there at the bottom. We had more voters in 2020 vote than we did in 2016. As a matter of fact, it was just a little over 17 million more voters. Now, if you're like me and you believe that there was some voter fraud, then probably there was about 10 million of them that were illegal votes, whether they were duplicates, mail-in ballots that were not real. I know we couldn't catch all of them, but I do believe there was a lot of fake voting that went on. I do believe that personally. However, when you only take the difference between those two, and you still know that there's 25 million Christians that did not vote, if those Christians would vote, we would slaughter the numbers.
right. It wouldn't even matter at that point.
It wouldn't even matter. They could not manufacture enough votes
Right.
to beat us, because 25 more million votes would come through, and there were 17 more million votes in 20 than there was 16. And I believe we're probably going to have a lot more votes this year. I think this year will be a record-breaker year, because we can agree that our country is divided.
Yeah.
And we're fighting for each candidate. And this doesn't mean it's only Democrat or Republican. I don't want you to think, if you're sitting out there today and you're like, well, I'm an independent, my vote counts. It does count. Absolutely it counts. Or if you're from the Green Party or whatever party you're from, your vote matters no matter what. But unfortunately, it really does come down to two parties. It has for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I don't know how you feel about that, Austin, but I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do get really hung up on the voter fraud. It is a big deal. The fact of the matter is, though, that voter fraud has always been a thing. I think this past year, everything was so hyper-focused because this is the first time that a major candidate has come out and said, I lost because of... I mean, I think the last time that happened was Al Gore, and I think that was the Electoral College, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a big discrepancy there.
So, I mean...
Well, when Bush was running, there was hanging Chad and all kinds of issues whenever we were doing the old style.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some things. I mean, listen, in my opinion, when it comes to voting, I'm all about absentee voting. But I am 100% against mail-in ballots. 100% against mail-in ballots. I believe that if you're going to vote, you should show up to a polling place that when they have absentee voting, you have to show up physically and vote. That's what I believe. And that's just my opinion. I think it would cut down on a lot of fraud in that when it comes to the mail-in ballots. And if you are going to do mail-in ballots, they need to be turned in way before the election actually starts, because that's the issue is, what we saw was Trump winning and in the regular polls, and then all of a sudden the mail-in ballots started coming in late.
Correct.
Which, how coincidental is that? It's just a joke, man. Just be real about it. I mean, if we lose, we lose, but I just don't believe we lost this last time. I say we because yes, I am a conservative and I voted for Trump, and I will be voting for Trump again in 2024. So let's talk about this for a minute. First of all, you need to know that I do not agree with everything Trump does or says. That guy can be a bozo a lot of times. I mean, that is the truth. I mean, he acts like, many times, he literally acts like he's in junior high when he talks about other candidates. I don't think that's very presidential at all. Thankfully, the things that I do like about him, I have a higher percentage of things that I do like about him than his junior high mentality when it comes to attacking his opponents or people that don't agree with him. He would probably be making fun of me right now because, I've watched some of his things, and it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why do we have to go to junior high and start talking about other people and make fun of them? Come up with all the names and all the nicknames. Let's just get over that, man. Just run the country, talk about your policies and what you believe in, and let's move on with life, right? Because he does have the ability to do this. But in that, so I just want you to know, there are things about President Trump that I just do not care for. I just don't care for some of the things that he does. But there are a lot of things that I do care for, the things that he stands for, the things that he is fighting for the American people for. One, he's not your typical politician. He's already rich, so he's not trying to get rich. He donated all the money he made as being president back, to an organization of his choice. These are things that help, and that's not the main thing. These are just a few things. But when you look between the two people, okay, you have multiple choices. You really do. You got Kennedy running as an independent. He's a choice. Truthfully, in my opinion, he's a Democrat running as an independent because he knows he couldn't beat Biden, and he wants to be on the ticket for the general election, and I believe that's why he's on the general election, and he is going to hurt, I believe, Biden in the general election because he is a Democrat. End of story. And he's going to help Trump, in my opinion. On that, though, when I look at the two candidates that have the best chance of winning, here's what I want to go to. When you look at their position on issues that matter the most to Christians, conservative Christians, sage cons. A lot of people don't know what a sage con, but that's a spiritually active, governance engaged, conservative Christian. That's what that is. So I'm not a Republican. I vote. When people ask me what ticket I'm taking, I am taking a Republican ticket because they don't have just a conservative. But I take, me personally, am a conservative Christian. I think there are Republicans that lean too far right for me, and they want still too much government than what I want. But when I look at these positions on, like, number one, abortion, if you look at Biden, he strongly supports Roe versus Wade, but they say he opposes public funding for abortion, which I don't believe that. We've seen the guy do things for Planned Parenthood and other places. He's all about transgenderism and the LGBTQ plus community. When it comes to my beliefs, I don't believe that is a healthy way to go. The Bible does not. The Bible actually talks against that. and that's why I'm not for Joe Biden when it comes to these issues. President Trump, however, actually is against Roe versus Wade. I mean, he would rather it go back to the states and let the states decide, but he is pro-life, no doubt, not pro-choice. The position on immigration, this is another huge one in our country. Right now, our country is being flooded with people that are illegals coming over across our border by the millions every single day. Yep. I think about this. There is no other country in this world that would allow people just to come over there without the right documents.
No.
And we would not give them money. They would not give them money to live and to have. I mean, it's just insanity. Absolutely insane that our own people that are Americans right here that cannot get help, but yet somebody coming across the border illegally can get money, get housing, get everything taken care of for them while they get up on their feet illegally. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. President Trump wants to build a wall. That's what he wants to do. He wants to build the wall. He wants to finish the wall. And we need a wall. We need a massive wall put up. We need some stronger guidelines. And I hope that when he gets in, he does what he says, which is going to be a massive, what's it called? Deportation.
Yeah.
He is going to deport every single illegal alien in America. And you know what? He should. If you don't have the right paperwork and you have not gone through the right process, you should not be in America. And I also believe that if you come here illegally, truthfully, you should be banned from coming ever back to America. You want to be in America? Go through the right process. I'm good with that. We welcome you if you go through the right process, but if you come here illegally, I don't welcome you. Sorry. That's just the way I see it. When you look at global warming, okay, that's not a big one for Christians, but I'm not all in favor of global warming. I don't believe in global warming. I think it's a joke. But, you know, we'll skip through that one. There's a lot of different positions. You can actually go to several different websites and look at these. When you look at the sanctity or the sanctity of marriage, President Trump is all about a husband and wife being married, where Joe Biden is all about you can marry whoever you want to whomever you want. I mean, right now we are literally seeing, I saw an article that showed that a woman was in support of her husband transitioning into a woman. That's just the sickest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm just saying, it's just absolutely disgusting. Here's a big one for Christians, is our gun rights. Joe Biden wants to take all your gun rights away. The Democrats want to rip and strip your gun rights away. They want to have complete control of all of us. Where President Trump says, nope, I support the Second Amendment right for us to bear arms. The reason why that is in the Constitution is to protect us from people like the Democrats or the liberals. That's the honest to God truth. Or anybody that is foreign that should not be in our space. There's going to be a day, and hopefully I'm not here, that you may have to use those weapons to defend yourself.
And it's not just even a Democrat-Republican issue with that. I mean, it is currently, but we've seen even with things like the different way that the party platforms have shifted. You know, this isn't just to protect us against Democrats. This is just their current ideology. Let's say in 20 years it swaps, where now Democrats were all pro Second Amendment. It's for the continuation of and the integrity of the Second Amendment.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I mean, and that's true. I mean, it's not just about the Democrat. Right now it
but
is
the party
specifically
platform,
because of what they're trying to do. I mean, they're the ones trying to ruin that.
Right.
But you're right. If it was the Republicans doing it, you know, we would be saying the very same thing.
Yeah.
It's not about a Republican or Democrat party. You're right. It's literally about our right as American to bear arms. Donald Trump is for that. Joe Biden is against that. Now, here's one. I don't know if I've read this one, but it looks like both Joe Biden and Donald Trump, as a positive, support the death penalty. You guys know I support the death penalty.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you don't have anybody to pull the trigger or hit the button, I'll be that guy. If you are guilty and somebody doesn't want to do it, I'll be the one to do it, especially with child molestation. Boy, I'll be the first one in line to take care of those guys. They don't deserve a place on this earth. They deserve a place somewhere else, and that's why I'm not Jesus, because Jesus probably have grace for them where I can't. What's so funny?
It's just funny.
It's funny for me to vote. Okay. All right. Let me see here.
The death penalty is one of those things where I agree. I mean, I think it's just one of those. I don't know. For me,
All right,
I
so
see the merit of it, but it's
so at the end of the and I'm just listen. This is unfiltered. I have zero notes. I came in this room. Austin said, "Can I see your notes?" I said, "I don't have notes. I have tabs." All I'm literally doing is talking off of the different things that I just want to come in here and blab about, and really kind of do my predictions of this election and tell you as a Christian that you need to get off your butt, get educated, and freaking vote.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. You need to vote. I am so sick and tired of hearing people have an opinion about our country, and then they sit in their butts and they don't vote. In my opinion, if you don't get out and vote, you don't have an opinion about this country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Call me pastor, call me a jerk. I don't really care. I feel like I'm fighting for our right to voice what we believe with a pen in the voting booth. I don't care who you vote. I mean, I care who you vote for, but more importantly, I just care that you do vote. If you vote for somebody that's not on my team, guess what? I'm just glad you're voting. Yeah. Truthfully, what I don't want you to do is say, well, my vote doesn't matter. You know what? That's a cop-out. That's just a cheeseball way of getting out of being responsible for being a responsible citizen. If you go to Ephesians, the Bible says that we as Christians are supposed to be responsible citizens, which means we steward what God gave us. God gave us the Constitution for a reason, to protect us from the government. Because the government has gotten too big, and that's why the Constitution was written, is to protect us from the government. We are to steward what God gave us. We're to steward the land that he gave us, the land of the free, the home of the brave, which means we got to put up borders. We got to put up policies to not allow people to come over here. We're to steward our finances that we give like 60% of our paycheck to the government. Why on God's green earth are we supporting Ukraine? Why are we giving trillions of dollars away to another country to fight their war for them?
I mean, I have a thought on that.
Oh, of course you do. What's your thought?
Well, I mean, it's a proxy war. I mean, this is so we don't have to actually be over there doing anything.
Yeah, but with one hit of a button, we could destroy Ukraine.
Yeah, but
and
I mean,
take care of everything.
Yeah, but we're viewing it as a plot of land and not a mass civilization of people that aren't asking for this to happen. They're
asking for it.
No,
their president is screwing it up.
I'm not in agreement with Zelensky at all.
Zelensky?
He's the world's best salesman.
I can't say it. I can say douche, can't I?
Well, you just did. He's the world's best salesman. I mean, that's the way it goes down.
He's a tool shed.
I think we should support anything that prevents Russia from its land grab.
Let me just say this: if you had the right president in there, this would not be happening.
I will say it's the most corrupt country. It's the most corrupt first world country. I don't know if it's technically a first world country, but it is. I mean, you look at all of the.
But if you had the right president in there with the pair, this wouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah, no.
And the problem is we got Biden in there that does not have a pair.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he has mental faculties either to know what's going on. So.
Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have some grace for me in this area. But, man, there is just – you can't fix stupid, and people are trying to fix stupid.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of stupid. That's what you have to get rid of. The things that are just makes no sense whatsoever. You know it doesn't make sense, but here's what happens. You get hung up on being a Democrat or a liberal or an independent or a Republican, and no matter what they stand for, you're going to vote for that party because that's what you've always voted for, and it doesn't matter what they stand for. It doesn't matter what they're doing to your country. It doesn't matter because you're going to vote Democrat, Republican, or independent no matter what, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know how we fix that.
Oh, you fix it by talking about it. You fix it by just at least trying to make people aware that you can't just vote for a party because that's what you've always done.
Right.
You can't just do that. It's absolutely nonsense. It's absolutely insanity, and it's not working. It's not working. All right. Oh, my gosh. My blood pressure's up. Christians, you need to get out and vote, okay? And we need to do this quick. This is the year for us to make a difference. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Let me get to this one page. I'm going to give you, so let's go to this map, Austin. Okay, you can go ahead and you can put this up on the screen. This is a blank electoral map. This is my version of the map. You can go on to this electoralvotemap.com and you can do your own if you want to. I went here and I basically, what you see on the screen right now is where we stand pretty much right now. Every year, these are the states that are going to be in red, and these are the states that are going to be in blue just about every single year. Florida, however, a couple years ago was flipped from Obama, Democrat, to Republican, and now that we have more of obviously a Republican governor that everybody likes, Ron DeSantis, we now see that state becoming red and pretty much always red. I mean, the whole story, people are moving from California, which is blue, to Florida, which is red, because they want to be in a red state. So I'm having Florida now as just pretty much it's a done deal as a red state. So these other states that you're looking at that are gray, here's what I believe. I believe there are a couple of these states that are absolutely going to flip back red because of Trump. Here's why. When you look right now at the polls, you will see that President Trump is leading in Georgia. So I'm going to make that red. I believe that's going to be a red state. It was blue last time. It's going to be red. I also believe West Virginia. Oh, no, that's blue. Sorry, let me get that back. Blue. Ohio is going to be red. I think that's going to flip back. Trump is leading again in the polls by 6-7%. Pennsylvania, I believe, is going to go back to Trump or go back to the Republicans again. Trump is leading by a 7%. I actually have all these right here. Let me see. Here it is right here. When you look at Wisconsin, the Democrats currently are leading by 2% with Wisconsin. But however, when I look at that, I absolutely believe that Wisconsin, by the time the election shows up, I believe that's going to go back to a red state. Minnesota, however, I think is going to stay blue. I just, it's on the brink, but I have a feeling it's going to stay blue. Michigan, when you go back and you look at Michigan right here, Michigan, Trump is ahead at 5%, Pennsylvania 4%, Arizona 5%, Georgia 6%, Nevada 10%, which he lost in the last election. So here, let me show you what this looks like in my opinion. I believe Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and Michigan are all going to be Trump, and I believe Colorado will end up being Biden. However, Trump is gaining ground right now in Colorado. He's only about 2.5 percentage points away, and it was like 8, so he's starting to gain ground. Here's what happened. These leftist people are not as smart as everybody thinks they are. When you started taking Trump off of the ballot through the Supreme Court of making him, say that he was involved in the insurrection, and it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court came out and said no, 9-0. That is a large deficit for the Democrats. When not one of the Supreme Court justice agreed, that just showed everybody in this country that the left is using a bunch of tactics that are illegal because they know they're going to lose. They lost majorly there, and it is exactly what's going to happen in 2024, in my opinion. They're going to lose this election because they have been cheating the whole entire time.
Yeah, I think that it was a big win for Trump, but not only for Trump, for elections to come.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter which way the power struggle goes. We need to make sure that this is a balanced thing. No more. It's no different than stacking the Supreme Court, right? They were wanting to add more than 9 justices, and that sounds great when you're in power, but whenever you're not, then it becomes an issue. And so these are the things we have to be careful of, weaponizing the Supreme Court. Really, in their opinion, they said that the Supreme Court shouldn't even have to be weighing in on this because it's not, they have to be careful what they are involved in. So
yeah, because they're trying to get them to have their opinion about everything these days, and their job is to uphold the Constitution.
Right.
What does the Constitution exactly? Yeah. But that's the way government works when it gets too big. When it gets too big and you get too much power and you have too much money, you start doing bad things. That's what happened with the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
At the Tower of Babel in the Bible, those people unified, got very strong, started building this tower, started taking control, and God said, no, no, no. He confused their language, scattered them across the world, and guess what? That ended real quick. And that's going to happen again. I don't believe I'm going to be here during that, but it is on its way to happening. So overall, let me give you my prediction. I got a graph here for you. Here it is. There's my prediction. You can't see it, Austin.
It's okay.
But it says Pastor Jason's predictions 2024 at the top. It shows the states that I have chosen for Trump to win and the states for Biden. And at the bottom, I have winner Trump, Republicans with 308 votes, electoral votes, and the Democrats with 230.
I actually can see that.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So anyway, what do you think about that?
I think this year is going...
Mark it down right now. Let's see if I'm right.
I mean, you're going down to the electoral numbers here. That's pretty insane.
I'm calling it like I feel it.
But
because I really don't know.
I think for me,
I'm no professional.
It's more of that we're going to see a massive. We've already seen this just in society with people that normally vote Democrat. They're done. They're regretting their vote for Biden. This has been the longest 4 years of my life.
Oh man!
I mean, we still have a year left, and so 3 years. But it's been the longest 3 years of my life. I feel like, and I feel like because of just how blatant the last election was handled, I feel like this is going to be the year that it's not that people love Trump; it's that they hate Biden more. And unfortunately, sometimes we can see that. And when I say hate, I just mean they can't stand the policies. Maybe it is really that they hate the person.
Yeah, I don't think they really hate the person. I think they just hate what they're doing.
Or the incompetency that's coming from that office. I mean, he is the representative of us to the free world, and he is not representing strength at all.
No, can't even walk up a set of stairs.
So I feel like it's going to be a year of transition. I hope that these are the results. And based on the two candidates that we have, I feel like this is our best chance at maintaining, or I should say, taking more ground to being a constitutional republic, which is what we're supposed to be.
Yeah, again, Trump's not perfect.
He's not the answer, but he's a stepping stone to the answer.
He'll at least get our economy back in order, which is one of the things that I think a lot of people are struggling with right now. I mean, credit card debt is as high as it's ever been. The housing market is not doing well. The interest rates are through the roof because of the massive inflation of 9% or more. It's actually probably more like 11%. And people that are living paycheck to paycheck are dying financially because they cannot keep up with inflation.
Well,
and the only person that knows how to run that company, in my opinion, is Trump. I mean, this guy, he knows what he's doing when it comes to business. He's not afraid to tell people what he thinks. He's not a people pleaser, as we already know. It's hard to get him to listen to anybody for that matter, which is also a good thing to a degree. Here's one of the things that I wanted to say before we end the show, because we're strictly talking about this today. The biggest thing is you need to get out and vote. The biggest thing is you need to educate yourself. The other thing is you need to share this video with all your friends just so they can hear my opinion and how I stand as a pastor. Because I think a lot of people say, well, pastors shouldn't be involved in politics.
Yeah, I definitely disagree.
I disagree. I mean, you can tell I disagree. I'm the one talking about it. But I totally disagree. It is absolutely biblical that we get involved in stewarding our land, and that is exactly what we're doing. Yep. So earlier I was talking about there's 6 swing states right now. The first one is Arizona that I was talking to you about. In 2016, Trump led or won against Clinton. In 2020, Biden took that away from him by just 0.3%. But currently, Trump leads by 5.5%. So he's already over the margin of error, which is usually 3% plus or minus. And so we can already see that he's taking back Arizona, and it's early. We haven't even got any to debates yet. And Trump said, I love what he said the other day. He said, I will debate Biden anytime, anywhere, any place. He said, even in them communist networks, whatever it was. I mean, he laid it out there that he is ready to go to battle against Biden because he thinks Biden's incompetent to even go against him, which I probably would agree with that. In Georgia, Trump won 50% to Clinton's 45%. In 2020, though, Biden again beat Trump by 0.3%. Guess what it is this time? 6.5%.
Oh, wow.
he's already smoking Joe Biden in Florida. You go to Michigan. Trump beat Clinton 47.3 to 47. So he barely beat Clinton in Michigan. But Biden pretty much smoked Trump 50.6 to 47.8. But currently, Trump leads 3.6. So he's about 0.6 above the margin of error, and it's early. It's only March, and the debates have not started happening yet. In Nevada, Clinton actually beat Trump 47 to 45. Biden beat Trump 50 to 47, but currently Trump leads 7.7, which again is over the margin of error, and he's smoking Biden in Nevada. And I think it's only going to continue to get worse as we get closer to the election. Pennsylvania, Trump won 48.2 to 47.5 against Clinton. In 2020, Biden ended up taking Pennsylvania 50% to Trump's 48.8. And Biden is now still showing a very, very narrow lead of 0.8%. Again, I know it's showing blue right now, but I just believe as the time gets closer, the people of Pennsylvania are going to see who their next president is going to be. Wisconsin, Trump in 2016 beat Clinton 47.2 to 46.5. In 2020, Biden ended up beating Trump 49.5 to 48.8. And, of course, right now Trump leads by 1%. And it's a good sign, because what you're seeing is that start to flip back slowly but surely. These are not guarantees, but these are good signs of those 6 swing states that are pretty much going to determine who your next president's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, all right.
I think the biggest thing is get out and vote. myfaithvotes.org.
Yeah, if you're not registered to vote, you could go there.
And
hey,
that's the first starting
I can
point.
tell you right now, I forgot what month, but I believe it's in October. It might be
I think it's
September. September, actually, we are going to do a big push for those of you in the local area that are not registered. You're going to be able to come to Roots Church, and you're going to be able to register to vote right in the lobby. We're going to have a kiosk set up for you, and we're going to push it. We want Christians to get registered to vote, and we want those of you that are Christians to go vote, because 25 million of you sat on your butt and didn't vote. As a matter of fact, 30% of registered voters in the last 2 elections did not vote. That is so sad and so disgusting. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm actually ticked off about how people are not getting out and exercising their right to vote in an election that is going to matter for your kids and their kids.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for you today. I love you guys. Tell me what you think in the chat. Comment on the YouTube page. Let me know. You don't have to agree with me. I still want to hear from you. We can have a good discussion about this. I want to see your comments. I want to see your questions. I'll answer them. We'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Trump 2020, baby.
Trump.